Good evening, everybody. Excuse me. Good evening. Hello. Welcome to Wednesday Workshop Live with Build a Quilt. I'm Diana. I'm the creator of Build a Quilt. Wednesday night is our time together we talk about Quilt Lab. We talk about any ongoing projects. You guys get to ask questions. We play a little fun question of the week game and give out prizes. And who doesn't like prizes, right? I like prizes too. So I figure if I like them, everybody must like prizes. And that's just chosen at random. Questions for the game are like silly questions, nothing earth shattering. And we just generally have a good time together. So I love it when we all get together on Wednesday nights. And tonight, I was just looking at I always put together my little list. So I try not to miss things because I have ended the night before and gone, oh no, like the one major thing I needed to tell them, I forgot. So I make a list now. And this list is long to me, but I think it's like fast stuff. So hopefully it won't be too long. So if you are with us for the first time, hello and welcome. We are so glad to have you with us. What is Build a Quilt, you might ask? Build a Quilt is patchwork, traditional patchwork that is made with your embroidery machine. So it's not the patchwork where it's embroidery and when you're done with your whole piece. That's a whole different animal, as they say, and that is a beautiful artwork, hobby, craft that you might like to do with your embroidery machine. But Build a Quilt is truly, we're making our quilt tops. We're just letting our digital designs, our digital Build a Quilt designs help us with precision and stuff in case we have problems with our hands or we really love our embroidery machine, which so many of us do. And I've been quilting for over 55 years now. So I've tried to put all of my knowledge, and trying to do that made me believe I still have stuff to learn in this life. So all into this product so that anyone and everyone who wants to quilt can. Quilting is a beautiful art form, whether it's used utilitarianly, meaning like everyday use and stuff, which that's kind of what quilting was originally all about, or if it's done more as a true art form, like displaying pieces and stuff like that. So that's what we're all about here at Build a Quilt. And I know we've got some folks signing in. Hello to our friend Ruth out in Lake Stevens, Washington. How's it out there, Ruth? Have you guys been having crazy weather too? We've basically been drenched here, and it got back to freezing, under freezing, and we've had snow again. And so my little plants out in the garden and out in the greenhouse, they don't know what to do. I won't tell you that I was out in my boots and my pajamas and my big parka at midnight the other night, bringing the broccoli into the garage because it got so cold out there. Yeah, I won't tell you that I was doing that with my bad back too. No, I wasn't doing that. It was Dave was asleep, and luckily he slept through it, or he would have thought I was nuts. So it's been crazy weather here. And so, and our good friend T is here with us tonight. Hello, Tanita. So glad to have you back with us, my dear. I hope you are feeling better from I think you told us last week, or 2 weeks ago. So I don't think it's a secret that you had been in a car accident. And I'm so sorry about that. And I hope that you're feeling better for sure. So it's so great to have you all with. So if you're new, drop your name in the comments so I can say hello. Don't be shy. We don't judge here. We only encourage and help to inspire all of us together as a group. And so you don't need to be shy about asking questions. We love taking your questions. And if you've been with us for a while, like our good friends Ruth and Tanita have been, hello to you guys too. I'm so glad to see you back this Wednesday evening. So that leads me to why we weren't here last Wednesday evening. Dave and I have both been pretty laid up. Now, yesterday I did a Quilt and Coffee Chat live, and it was a non-scheduled one. And so if you go back and watch that, I talked about that too. A couple of weekends ago, we put up our greenhouse. It is technically a polytunnel greenhouse that is supposed to be temporary, but we made it permanent. That baby's not going anywhere. However, Dave put out his back. I put out my back quite badly because I moved over the course of that time 2,400 pounds of paving stones by myself. Yeah, that was that was below and head work on my part for sure. And then Dave, because he was doing a lot down on his knees and wouldn't put on his builder's knee pads that he wears when he builds theater sets, really injured his right knee. So we've been having doctor's appointments and x-ray appointments and chiropractic appointments and all of that. And he's doing better, but I don't think he's 100% yet. And my back is an old injury spot. So it's something I've put myself now on a schedule to see the chiropractor regularly, because this is going to now be a problem, I guess, all summer if I don't take care of it. But I don't plan on moving 2,400 pounds of paving stones again this year anyway. So we've been pretty messed up. My wrists have been like on fire. Today's the first day that they didn't burn from carrying all those stones and all. So, those things. So anyway, last Wednesday, there was no way I could sit in the chair. In fact, you'll see me tonight try to remember to sit back in my chair to give my back some support. But thank you all for understanding. I know those of you that have been with me for a long time now, you understand that I have this back problem, and I did a foolish thing and I paid for it. So we'll just put it that way. But Dave's injuries were because he is the most loving human being in the world. And I have so much guilt over his injury because he only was out there helping or putting up and then having me help him put up and reinforcing that greenhouse because I asked him to do that, because he's a great guy. So I feel horrible about his injuries. So he's got a lot of stuff coming for him with appointments and all for rehabilitating his back and his knee, but he'll get there. Because he swims every day, lap swims. So he's in good shape, but he just overdid it. All right, let's see what we've got going on in the comments. T says, you got your orthopedic follow-up tomorrow. Hopefully you can get cleared of this boot. Oh, sister, can I just say I feel for you. Many years ago, like maybe 30 years ago, I tore my Achilles tendon because of a jagged, nasty heel spur. And I had to wear one of those stinking boots from my knee all the way down for 2 solid years. It was a nightmare. So I'm right there with you. I hope they let you go too. Thank you, T. Thank you so much. We can use those prayers for sure. So that's why I wasn't here last Wednesday. So tonight we've got a little catch up and extra stuff to do. All right. So as always, I like to start the evening with a funny little meme, cartoon, saying whatever we want to say. And this week comes from our good friend Ruth. She sent this to me, and I would have shown it last week, but I saved it since we weren't here. And she sent it to me, and any quilter should be able to understand this. Even I think sometimes if you're not a quilter, but you have some other hobby or thing that you enjoy, you'll understand this. Let's take a look. It's from Love, Life, and Laughter. I love that. And it's a life hack. I hope you guys can see this. It's like a dollhouse, each little room, and the lady is sitting up in the center with her sewing machine. It says, if your house is a mess, mine's never a mess, spend all day in your sewing room to keep it from getting messier. I see the wisdom there. So if you stay in your sewing room and you keep quilting, you won't be able to do anything out in the house. It'll stay nice. Wish that were the case, however, because my house gets so dusty. I have to dust like every other day. We live on the last road before across the street is just nothing but cornfields and corn and beans. And because the fields are always blowing up dirt, I have to dust constantly in this house. It's ridiculous. I even have like air purifiers running in every room to help keep up with it. And they help a little bit, but I still have to dust all the stinking time. And I hate that. But thank you, Ruth. I love this. I love the picture. I thought it was so super cute. And yes, I'm sure that anybody who's a quilter or a sewer or any other hobby can absolutely understand that if you just do your hobby, you don't have a chance to mess up the house. That would be wonderful. Unfortunately, I'm not that gifted, but I love it. Thank you so much, Ruth, for sending that in. And don't forget, you guys, you can send those kinds of things into me, because sometimes it gets a little hard out there to find things that I think you guys might like, or things that like tickle my funny bone. So if you find one, or if you have a phrase, I can maybe find a picture or something to put with it. And I will show it, because this is your group. And if you find something funny, share it with all of us. We would love that for sure. So that is our meme for this week. And I only have that one for this week, but I thought it deserved its own special place all by itself, since our good friend Ruth sent it to us. All righty. So now I'm going to share the screen with you, because this week I don't have a second meme, but I have a thank you for sharing photograph to show you. So in February, which is the first month of Build a Quilt, because Quilt Lab. Quilt Lab runs February through the end of January. So February 1st of 2025 through January 31st of 2026 is our year. We offset it by a month, kind of give us January to kind of come down from the holidays, relax, maybe clean the house a little bit, because everybody's house needs to be cleaned after the holidays, right? And so in February, our Quilt Lab mini quilt, because this is the year, if you're new here, this year Quilt Lab is all about the mini quilt. And stay tuned, because I have some very, very important information about Quilt Lab coming at the end of tonight's session, and you don't want to miss it. So Quilt Lab's February mini quilt used this block called the Folded Star. I loved this block so much. And Linda, our good friend Linda, sent me, now originally she sent me this picture here, the bigger one, the single, and then she sent me this one just the other day. She has 3 of them done. So it is meant to be done as 4. So I'm assuming she's making the 4th one. But if she didn't want to, she could make a short runner out of it, put those 3 across that way and do a runner with it. That would be cute as well. What do you guys think? Let's show Linda some love, because I think these turned out beautiful. I love her fabrics, and I don't know if she is with us yet tonight. Linda, if you are, say hello, honey, because I need to ask you a question. Because when I was looking at the first single one here, it looks to me like she may have chosen some batik fabrics, that these prints might be batiks. And if they are, they're glorious. I think it turned out beautifully. They might be regular cotton, but I seem to think that this one right here, this single one, reminds me of a batik that I might have in the stash somewhere. So Linda, thank you so much. And yes, T loves it. Bobby Lee says it's beautiful. Lisa says very pretty. Yeah, thank you, ladies. Thanks for showing Linda some love, because I know how hard you guys work on these. These are simple, generally simple designs to do, especially this one. This one looks very complicated, but it wasn't, was it? No, it was very simple to do. And with the Build a Quilt method, you basically made about a dozen segment pieces, put them together, and you had this beautiful folded star. And the one thing I loved about this is when you kind of look at the folded star from a distance and kind of like let your eyes go, like back in the 90s when those 3D posters were all the rage, and you just kind of let your mind go. And you could see something else. This block looks 3-dimensional if you do that, to my eyes. And so, and then when you put the 4 together, you end up getting a bunch of these little 8-pointed stars all over the quilt piece. So I think I love this block, and I think Linda did a beautiful job. And thank you so much. And please, folks, don't be afraid to send me your photos of your pieces. If they're your 4 patches for our easiest quilt ever, send them, because that's what inspires us. That's what allows us all to go, huh, I really like that. Or, that's not how I would have probably thought about that, but I love how that looks. I'm going to try it, because you guys are the inspiration, right? You guys are the magic sauce that makes Build a Quilt work. And it's all your imagination in your, the things that you like that make it work. So don't forget, you can send your photos into me at right here at support@sewuncommon.com. And I'll show that again later, but that's where you can send your photos to me, or questions, anything like that, or your memes, anything like that. Okay. So thank you so much, Linda, for sending that in, dear. I appreciate it. And I know that everybody enjoyed seeing it for sure. All righty. So I have one little thing to share, a personal, a thing of personal privilege. Isn't that how that goes? I told you all that we've been doing our garden and we've been putting up our greenhouse and all. And I decided maybe this will end up being a bad decision. I don't know. But I decided to start a new channel, which is not like this channel. This is not a business, anything. This is more like a vlog of my gardening journey. And we live here. Our address is Old Farm, and it's because the land we live on is a part of the original Homestead Act of the US. And it was a working farm for years. And then about 30 years ago, it was divided out. And so our address is Old Farm, thus the name, Old Farm Gardens. And if you want to check that channel out, I've only got a few small things on there. Like I said, it's not a big deal. It's not, I'm not pouring into it what I pour into this. It's that over at Instagram too. It's more pictures, small little videos of things I've tried and things like that. So if you would like to head over and give me a like and a subscribe, just to see what else I'm up to in life, I would appreciate it. And once you're over there, feel free to share your gardening stuff too, because I know that a lot of quilters are also gardeners. And so I would love to know. I've gardened for a long time, but this is the first year I've had any kind of greenhouse. And this is the first year that I've planned a really much bigger space. So between Build a Quilt and that and my teaching, I'm now a very busy person. Again, I tried to slow down and that didn't work out for me. I don't know why. It just didn't. But anyway, if you want to go over and check it out and give some of them a like, that would be great. I would appreciate it as always, guys. Thanks so much. And you can tease me about my flowers and stuff over there. I don't care. I'm not an expert gardener by any means. I just do it and I love having fun with it. And I grow a lot of vegetables and stuff and fruits for Dave and I because I do everything organically. So anyway, moving on. I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, so this week I received some questions from some of our newer subscribers. We have a whole bunch of new subscribers. Welcome to all of you. I can't list all your names because there's too many of you to list. I'd be listing all evening. But I had several questions regarding what kind of thread I recommend for the piecing of the Build a Quilt segments. And if you've been here a while, you all know that I've done some videos on this, so you can check those out here on the channel. And you all can probably say it in your sleep what I like to use, but I brought a spool of it to share tonight to show you guys. I like using, and this is not, I don't have any kind of a deal with this company, although in the description box, I guess I actually do have an affiliate link through Amazon where I get my thread because I don't have a shop in my area. If you look at that and make any purchases, I do get a small commission, just to be upfront, and thank you for your support that way. But I didn't think about that until now. But this is the thread I use for piecing. It is called Pearl. It's by Isacord, so it is polyester. You can always use cotton thread in your embroidery machine, you will, I suggest, need to clean your bobbin case more often, because even a really good quality cotton thread is going to shed a little bit more than polyester will. But the number is 0184. So if you have a local store, or if you have a favorite online retailer that you use and they carry Isacord, that's it. It's a super light, I call it almost a dove gray, but it's technically considered pearl. And the reason I love it is because it fades into all the other colors. And so it is like it's almost like using a clear monofilament would be, where you just don't see it. That's how this acts with all other colors. So everything you see back here, all the stuff I'm going to show you, this is the only color that I ever piece with. Now, you don't have to use the Isacord. Isacord is just the one, I originally started using this color from this brand. There are other brands that have similar colors. If you look through another brand to get this type of color, go for, if they have something called pearl that doesn't look white or cream, but looks like a really light gray, super, super, super light dove gray, that should work for you just fine as well, okay? So, but I had a lot of people ask, so it's 0184 by Isacord. That's the one I use. And I have a whole rack over there. Half the rack is full of this, and half the rack is used with my favorite finished quilting color. And that information is all, if you just pop in like thread videos in my channel, I've done a lot of different ones on those colors, so you can find them there for sure, and give those a look at your convenience. Alrighty, so I'm just marking stuff off here. Okay, we are at the review time for March's mini quilt. So the March mini quilt was the In Bloom, pretty little vertical hanging mini quilt, about 12.5 wide by 17.5 tall when it's finished. And then a couple of weeks ago, we talked about, if you have our Build a Quilt basic combo set, so you get these 3 and these 3 basic segments in multiple sizes. It's the base of a lot of the projects that we do. In fact, this year, almost all of our non-Quilt Lab projects will come from using the pieces in that system. So if you have that, and you took away the top 2 blocks that came in the pattern and added 2 diamonds in a square and did them like this, you would come up with a completely different looking tulip. So I'm just going to hold that up there, and it would look like that. Or you could do these colors like in a deeper version of your base color. So that was our In Bloom this year, or for the month of March. Now that we're into the month of April, normally our pattern comes out on the 10th. That's tomorrow. I will tell you, it's not, it may come out tomorrow, but it might be Friday or Saturday, only because of my back. Like right now, my back is already starting to hurt. So I know that if I sit down to stitch, I have to take it slowly. I'm fine, but I just can't like push myself through it, or I'll end up being back on the ice and the cracking and popping and all that. And I don't want to do that. But this pattern is available over at our website. You already have it if you're a Quilt Lab subscriber. Again, stay tuned, because we're going to have a big announcement about Quilt Lab coming up towards the end of the evening. And then if you have the combo set, you can make a whole different flower, a different tulip for it. And so when you get done with these, send me pictures. Here's the last part of this. At the end of the month, the finished quilt design, so a design that I create to do the finished quilting, is available now for Quilt Lab subscribers at no charge in the members area. Yesterday, I sent you a link that should take you there so you can download it. It'll stay there. So if you've lost that email or didn't look at it or whatever, it'll be in the Quilt Lab members only area. However, if you are not a subscriber and you want to use the matching design, which is, a little tulip design. Let me see if I have my notebook. Here we go, because I should have my picture in here of it, my little template. I always try to put my template in here. Build a quilt. Oh, that's the general one. Hang on. Build a quilt. Hang on, I know it's here. I know it's here. Here we go. There it is. So that is the pattern. That's a template from the, but that's the pattern. It's little tulips. So, and you can see it at the website. So if you want that pattern, it's meant and sized to go with this quilt. So we are going to be putting out some finished quilting designs that'll come in like multiple sizes in a set and all out throughout this year. But that one is meant specifically to go with your bloom quilt from March. So that's available out there now. And the April one will just be out here in a couple of days. It's so super cute. It's a very fun little mini quilt. And although when you see it, you're going to think Easter, and that's okay. It has nothing to do with Easter. It has to do with my other love, gardening. So stay tuned for that. It's coming out in the next couple of days. I just have to finish the sewing of the prototype so that you can see it and I can finish the video. That's just taking me a little extra time this week to get that done, but I will have it done. And because Friday is my birthday, I did the Quilt and Coffee Chat live yesterday. So check that out here at the channel and you can kind of see what we talked about, because we talked about yesterday some very important information for everybody, but it was completely non-political. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I talked about yesterday about why this easiest quilt is made scrappy and why we will be doing more scrappy things throughout this year to come. Because when I do things, I think about you guys. And because the economy right now, this is not a political statement, is a little wibbly, right? It's this one day, it's that one day, it's this the next day. And things haven't melded and molded and done whatever they're going to do. And I can't see that future. I thought maybe it best that we work scrappy this year. So I'm not going to introduce any new completely curated fabric lines for the rest of this year. I'm not telling you not to buy them. I'm just saying I'm not going to make the patterns with fabric that you're going to have to go and buy, because hopefully you can find these colors and things in your stash. And that way you'll be able to keep on quilting and doing what you love, even while maybe we're riding a little bit of a roller coaster this year. Okay. So I hope that is I hope that was said in the kindest way I know how, and that you all understand what I was talking about there. But check out yesterday's Quilt and Coffee Chat live. It was a short one, but you'll want to check that out too. All right. So that was the review of our mini quilt. The design is out for the finished quilting, the little tulips. And now tonight, the big deal that we need to do, that we're going to work on the rest, probably most of the rest of this evening, is the easiest quilt along ever. So let me get 2 weeks ago, I showed you guys one of the big blocks. So we've been making all of these 4 patches. You can't get any easier, right? If you can find a way to make an easier quilt than that, I'd really love to know, because that is so stinking easy and so fast to do. But what we've been doing is we have been using a product line from a woman named Sarah Renee Clark. And it is called the Color Cube. Let me show you what that looks like in case you don't know. I know some of you have your own There we go. Already, that's great. You don't need to own this. If you want to take a look at it, again, I do have an affiliate. This is like the only main big product that I do have an affiliate link for, because I've used this for a few years now and I completely believe in this product. And I use it consistently now to help keep me out of a rut of always using the same colors, especially when I want to make sure and show you guys lots of different colors. But it's by Sarah Renee Clark, who is more, I would guess, of a graphic artist. Maybe that's not the right way, but she designs all the adult coloring books and stuff. But these boxes, each one of them, there's two separate ones. There's box 1 and 2. Each hold 250 of these cool cards that show you a picture and then give you all the colors. And the most often asked question is, I heard you say it, what color should I use in my quilt, Diana? It's the question I get asked all the time. These cards, if I saw this card and I said, oh, I really love those colors, those are the colors I would need to get for my quilt, right? So makes it so easy. You don't have to know anything about color theory or a color wheel or anything like that, because Sarah put all of that together in these cards for us. So we've been using these to pick the colors for our blocks. And you guys have been voting on the ones you like best each week. We pick 2 each week. And you've been voting on the ones you like best. And so a couple of weeks ago, the last time we were together, this was one of the cards. Lots of really bright, really close to like Tula kind of colors, right? If you know Tula pink. And so this is my block. You'll notice I didn't use purple at all. But what I did do is I kind of chose on the top and the bottom fabrics that had at least 2 of the colors in them in each one of them, except for this one, which is more of a solid. But like this has this yellow in it, and it has the green in it as well. This green has the green in it, and it has the blue in it. And then because these colors are so deep and rich, I wanted to lighten it up. And so I chose this one that had multiple colors in it, but a white background. So what do you guys think? Did that lighten this up? Look at the colors. Now look at the block. Did using that help make this a lighter, brighter block, do you think? Let me know in the comments, please. Now, if you think that that was a good choice to use that fabric to give this block a lighter representation from the colors in the card. But look how good that matches up. So, and this block is the one that would have more of the blues in it too, but it also has the orange in it. So let me know in the comments if you think that was a good choice or not. And if you think it isn't, let me know, because I won't be upset. I would like your opinion. So that was one of them. And then the second one was this one. And I kept thinking that this was like some sort of like cotton candy or something. But if you look really close at that picture, it's like smoke bombs or something. There's a bunch of people and they're letting off all these pretty color smoke bombs. I was looking at it going, wow, that's really pretty. What is that? And then I finally saw the people. But these were the colors, right? More pastel, really great colors for right now, for spring. So this is my block. Didn't that turn out good? So in this one, the color I omitted was that one right there, which is called mustard on the card. That's what she's calling it, mustard on the card. Lisa, you think it was a good choice. Thanks. Great. Yeah, that's great. And you can do that. Changing your background color, guys, is what can really help you like change how a quilt feels. Does it feel lighter? Does it feel more summery? Or if it's a darker, does it feel more wintry or more warm and cozy? Background color can do that. You can still have all the other bright colors in it, but by changing the background color, you can really change how that quilt kind of feels in that way. Alrighty, so this one, now I'd used this fabric before, but it really is the only kind of periwinkle color fabric that I could find. This one I really liked. And when I just look at this fabric alone, Originally, I thought this was more of a faded out red, but when I put this up next to it, it really is that candy pink. Green with the little white stars. So I thought that one was a pretty good match. Pretty good. So those were the last two that we chose together. So in the live that I did yesterday for Quilt and Coffee Chat, I told you guys that tonight I have taken my under my own cognizance, and I have randomly chosen the last 6 blocks that we need. There's only 6. And I will post the picture tomorrow over at the community part of the YouTube channel so you can see all of them. But I chose randomly 6. These are all, again, from box 1 of the Sarah Renee Clark Color Cubes, box number 1. And I hope you love them because I chose them randomly. So you don't get to vote on it tonight. These are what they are. Because we have made enough of these now in sets of 2 that you guys know what you're doing. So I want to give you the last 6 block colors. So you're going to be making 6 more 4 patches. And then you will have enough of your 4 patches because you're going to end up making 6 of these full-sized blocks. Just 6 of them. And tonight I'm also going to share with you the exact quantity that you need to do for the sashing and for your special center blocks. And if you've not been with us for a while, but you want to know what the special center block is all about, it's also used in the sashing. You'll see here in a moment in the layout that diagram I'm going to show you. We talked about putting fussy cut blocks there. Now you can do what I did here and use a special fabric that you really like that you want to represent in that quilt, or you can fussy cut. So look for a video called It's Okay to Be Fussy here on the channel, or go back about 3 or 4 weeks and there is a live on a Wednesday night that we talked about it in real detail regarding this quilt. So you can check those out. So here's color choice number 1. I just showed you this one. Isn't that pretty? I love these kind of water lilies. Oh, I love them so much. Dave and I used to canoe in Lake Washington out in Washington State by the University of Washington. And they just have tons of water lilies in that area. And they were so beautiful to see. But that's the color. Again, very spring colors, I think. So I liked that one. This one was this is like a very unusual choice, but it came up. It was random. All greens and whites. So white, lime, apple green, kale, and dark green. Are you getting hungry from those? White, lime, apple green, kale, and dark green. That's going to be a very cool looking block, I think, because that's a very monochromatic palette, meaning one color family in this case. It's going to look very cool, I think. So that's the second one. So here is the third one. This is another kind of monochromatic idea, all in blues. So from this side over, light blue, blue gray, blue steel, royal blue, and dark blue. That is a very, very dark navy blue. That's very pretty, I thought. That's going to be another pretty block. These two are going to end up being real showstoppers in your quilt, I think, because we haven't done a lot of things that are all in one color family. Usually when we pick these cards, they have multiple colors in them. And I'm sorry I didn't tell you what these colors were. So start up here. Emerald, seafoam, mimosa, orange, blood orange, and rose tan. Those are the colors on that one. Sorry about that. I forgot to list those out for you. So that was the third one. Here comes number 4. Here's the 4th new one. These remind me of the cherry blossoms. If you live out, Ruth, if you've ever been to the University of Washington, you know about the cherry blossoms. Or if you haven't, you know that there are beautiful cherry blossoms out in Washington, D.C. the cherry blossoms have been in bloom. They are glorious. Oh my gosh, it's like walking under a canopy of the most beautiful flowers you've ever seen in your life. It truly takes your breath away. People, like even professors, will cancel class just to go out and walk around and take pictures and stuff of the cherry blossoms. They're so amazingly beautiful. So that's kind of what this reminds me of, but that could be, no, I think it's a cherry blossom. So, all right, so let's start with the colors up here. White, light pink, hot pink, blush, and kale. Oh, we've got a second one with kale. Getting ready for a salad with the kale. But those are really pretty. Almost a completely monochromatic palette except for that green, but that's going to be a great highlight. That's going to be another really pretty block. I love that. All right, now this next one, a couple weeks ago, we had one called, oh, here it is, let me grab it. Golden Roses. That's what we called it. I give them funny names, Golden Roses. And that is how my block turned out. Okay. So this one popped up. It is more dried roses. I think these are all roses, dried roses, but it's kind of a similar idea a little bit, but the colors are completely different. So let's start here. Now this is interesting. They're calling this beige and this beige. This one here is more beige. This is more a little bit tan. This one is rose tan, eggplant, and artichoke. Oh my gosh, we have all these vegetables coming up tonight, guys. So that's definitely artichoke. Is that eggplant? Let me look under light. No, this is not eggplant. I've never seen an aubergine that is that brown. It is more of a really deep purpley brown. I think of an eggplant more of a blackish purple or a deep, super deep purple. This is more of a brownish purple. Beautiful colors though. That's going to be another beautiful one. That one will end up surprising us, I think. And then the last one for the very last block that we need to make of the 4 patches, a blue and orange. I don't know what to call that one, guys. What do you think? A blue orange? I don't know. So this color here is just called yellow. This is a very light, this is again that color I call a lemon lime slushy. The one next to it is mustard, orange, just plain orange, royal blue, and steel blue. Okay, so that's it. So the blue orange, the dried roses, the blossoms, the lilies, water lilies. We'll call this the pelouse, French for grass, the pelouse. Or out in Washington, Ruth will know what the pelouse is. And then this one is pure sky. Okay. So those are the last 6. So you only have 6 more. If you've been keeping up week by week, you only have 6 more. All of each week's colors, the pictures are in the community section here. So they're all there for you to go and look and see which ones you want. The pattern comes from, for the segment, comes from the Build a Quilt Basic set. It is the 5-inch square. All right. That is what we're doing for basically the corners of these larger blocks. Now let's talk about the sashing. I'm going to bring up the, if anybody has questions, please go ahead and speak now, as they say, and I'll be happy to answer this for you. I'm going to bring up the layout. Here is the layout. So you can see this is a throw-sized quilt. You can see where your 6 blocks will go, and they are surrounded by white sashing, and all of those deep red squares are your special blocks, okay? Alrighty, so let me take that out for a second. And let me go over here. So I have this to show you. So let's talk about the sashing. The sashing, you are going to make, now I know this sounds like a lot, but remember, these squares go super easy. You can probably crank out 2 of these a minute at least. 133 white squares, or whatever color you're using for background. So I'm using the white, or this is the candlelit color I love. If you're using it, whatever color is your background color, you're going to make 133 of them. Now, you may have been making them along the way because I introduced this idea to us back several weeks ago and said to start making them. So you might already have like a third of them done or something. That's cool, but you'll need a total of 133 of them. And then this is what you're going to do with them. From that 133 squares, you're going to create 17 5-square sections and 24 2-square sections. So let me bring the picture back up of the layout. So this is the 5-square. So there's 2 at the top, 3, 2, 3. You see where they are, right, in the layout. And then the 24 2-piece sections are, you use 4 of those to make each one of the giant blocks. Okay. Right? Okay. So, and let me show you. Here is a sample of a 2-piece, of the 2-piece. So you'll make 24 that look like this and 17 that are 5. And let me give you a little bit of a tip on doing the 5 ones. Make 2 sections, and then attach 1 to your single, and then add the other 2 on the other side of that single. Don't just try to put them together in a row. You'll end up getting a little wonky sometimes. So do them in little chunks, those 5-piece sections. Now, I hear it out there. I'm never going to remember this, Diana. If you're not taking notes, that's cool. I will put out a sheet next week with all of this information. So by next Wednesday, I will put out this sheet so that you will have all the final information for the layout and putting everything together right there. Okay. It'll be a free download for anybody who's making the quilt. Okay. But I wanted to share it with you tonight. So if you want to write down your notes, you've got it and you can get started throughout the week. Okay, cool. So, and then those special blocks, the ones that go in the center of the big blocks, or if we add this back, that go into all of these spaces wherever the red ones are. Okay, the fussy cut blocks or the specialty fabric. You need to make 18 of those. And every single piece you make, every last piece, is just the 5x5 square. That's what makes this the easiest stinking quilt you will ever make, because that is the simplest, easiest block ever to make, because it's just a square. So you're going to make 18 of your special ones. So now let me bring this back up because we talked about this. In the big block sections, that one in the middle, you could put fussy cut blocks there and then choose a completely different fabric for all of the ones that are in the sashing. That's really going to make this super simple block be very, very special looking. Let's see, we got a comment over here. Hello, Sue. So glad to have you with us, my friend. I'm so glad that you are with us tonight for sure. And so you could do all of those special blocks in the fussy cut, or you could do fussy cuts only in the center of your larger blocks to kind of make them really pop out, and then do a different fabric. I have chosen for mine, and I shared this a couple of weeks ago. Let me take this picture down. There we go. I've chosen to use this fabric. It's a Tula Pink fabric that I happen to have, and I love the fact that it kind of goes with everything because there's so much color in it. But I had just enough of that in my stash that is what I'm going to use. So when I get this quilt put together, that particular fabric is really going to pop out amongst everything else because it will be surrounded everywhere by that white background color. So whatever you choose to do for your special blocks, you might want to kind of arrange it so that it works really well with whatever background color you're using. So if you're not using a white or a candlelit color, you might want to just make sure that whatever you're fussy cutting or whatever special fabric you're using, that you just have them a little bit coordinated, that they kind of go together. And because there's so much color in this quilt, because it's so scrappy, I'm going to really advise you to choose a lighter background color that isn't going to overly compete. I think if you did a really dark background color, it might be a little too saturated, unless you want to use black, because black, that will all pop out from black. But here's my thought about black. I love black, but a darker gray actually looks better. It's a little more mild. It still makes your quilt look warm, but not heavy. It really is beautiful with all kinds of colors. So you might want to look for a dark, medium to dark gray for a background if you don't want to use a light color, and see how you like that. So again, 18 5x5 squares for the special blocks. That is our easiest quilt along ever. So next week, when we meet on Wednesday, I will have the all of this written out over on the website for you so you can download it. But I wanted to share all that with you tonight because we're so close to being done, and I really want us to start a new project in probably 2 or 3 weeks. So I wanted us to get our cards chosen and get done. You guys have done enough of these now that this is not difficult for you. You know what you're doing. And again, the picture for these will go up on the community section tomorrow. I meant to do it earlier and I got sidetracked with getting something else done for us. So the picture's done, but I will put it up in the morning, okay? With the last 6 cards, and now you know what you need for sashing. Alrighty. So now I told you earlier that I have some really important Quilt Lab news, and it's very important. I did not do this last year, but I'm doing it this year for my sanity and for yours. Last year, Quilt Lab stayed open for new subscribers all year long. And oddly enough, in December, I had a ton of people that wanted to subscribe to last year's Quilt Lab, not this year's Quilt Lab. They wanted to do the one that we were finishing up, which is fine by me. I love that they wanted to do it. But they never got the feeling of being a part of Quilt Lab and stuff throughout the year. I had to go through and do give them a list of all the videos and stuff, because it was only fair that they knew where they could find all the information that they needed for all of the projects and all of the blocks and all of that. And I had to go through and make packages to send to them via multiple emails so they could get all the digital files. And so it really ended up being difficult. It was difficult. I didn't mind it, but it was really difficult to do at the end of the year during the holidays. And I got to thinking about it. I should really put a stop date for new subscriptions for Quilt Lab. So it starts in February, and we're now into April. And I need to tell you that new Quilt Lab subscriptions will end for this particular Quilt Lab year on April 20th. Okay, so you still have a couple of weeks. If you've been thinking about Quilt Lab, now's the time to probably make your decision, because the subscription is going to close for new subscribers on April 20th. Quilt Lab isn't going away. It's just that it's closing for new subscribers for this year. It will open back up towards the end of the year for next year, but the new subscriptions are going away. the ability to be a new subscriber for this year is going away on April 20th. Okay, guys? I hope you understand why I'm doing that. I really feel like it gives the subscribers the best opportunity with this too, especially because this year, in this summer, we're doing a Quilt Lab subscribers only quilt along, which the videos, everything will only be available to subscribers. No one else is going to get to see those videos or that pattern. It is only for you guys. And so if you don't subscribe until October, you're going to miss all of that. Okay. And I don't want that to happen to anybody. All righty. Now, one thing I do have for you tonight, hopefully you'll like this idea. A couple weeks ago, we had a spring sale, 25% off any one item in the shop, not Quilt Lab subscriptions. But look, be looking. That might change in the next few days. I haven't decided yet, but how I'm going to do that, because I really want anyone who wants to be in Quilt Lab to be in Quilt Lab, but I really do need to cut off the new subscription. So I'm still thinking about that. But the spring sale coupon, which ended like the 31st of March, I have extended it through the 30th of April. Okay, so 25% off if you want to be involved in this Easiest Quilt Along and a lot of our other projects this year, and you need to still get your Quilt Along combo set. You can get it right now for 25% off. That's a great savings on this set for sure. So that is coming, or that is available until, thank you, Lisa, until the end of April. Okay, till April 30th. I extended it a whole nother month. Okay. All righty, so that's that. We're almost done. Any questions, guys? Any comments? You've been a little quiet tonight, which is okay, but I love hearing from you guys. So any questions or comments, you let me know. But now it is time for question of the week. Yay! Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Ow. Yay! It's time for question of the week. I'm sorry. I get excited and then I just totally kill myself. All righty. Are you ready for question of the week? So this question is in honor of the chocolate Easter bunny. Okay. Oh, so I didn't tell you, and I didn't upload my picture. I'll have to do it next week. We have the Easter bunny in our back garden. Every year we get bunnies and their babies in the garden, and we welcome them in. Our neighbors don't, but we do, because we made a promise to our now 23, 24-year-old nephew when he was a little boy that we would not take the bunnies out to the country like his grandfather did in our garden. So we don't. We try to live in peace and harmony with nature in that respect because of the promise we made to our nephew. And so we have, I call it the Easter bunny, in our back garden every day, morning, sometimes in the afternoon. The other night when I was going out to bring the broccoli in from freezing at midnight and killing my back again, I almost stepped right on him. He was sitting right there just looking at me, and Dave put some carrots out for him. Bunnies do like carrots. So he was out there. It was lots of fun. So this question is regarding the Easter bunnies you get in your Easter basket. Chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, or white chocolate? Which is your favorite? If you got a chocolate Easter bunny this year, what would you hope for? What would you want the Easter bunny to bring you? I know that some people don't celebrate Easter. That's fine. That's but it is that season. And as I am an Easter baby, my birthday doesn't fall on Easter every year, but it's always very close around there. I have always been the recipient of some beautiful Easter baskets, of which I have always been blessed to get them. And they almost always have a chocolate Easter bunny in them. So what do you like best? Chocolate, dark milk, or white chocolate? Here we've got Lisa says dark chocolate. Ohio Mom says white chocolate. Can I just say, White chocolate to me is very, very sweet. You're going to find this very weird. My mother has an all-out chocolate allergy. Can't eat it. I have a sensitivity to it if I eat like more than a little bit at one sitting, so I have to be a little bit careful. But the one thing I don't like is overly sweet things. And for some reason, for me, white chocolate is very sweet. I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just not my favorite because I feel like it is sweet. But I know a lot of people love it. Sue says dark chocolate. Ruth says any chocolate. I love that, Ruth. Any chocolate at all. Because of my sensitivity, I tend to eat milk chocolate. It's a little milder on my system, but occasionally I can take a nibble. Like Dave always likes a dark chocolate. He likes dark chocolate. And so occasionally I'll eat a little bit of his dark chocolate because I do love it, but I have to be really careful if I eat any chocolate at all. So I don't really eat an Easter bunny anymore at the Easter holiday, but I used to when I was younger for sure. But I love that, Ruth. Any chocolate at all. That I like that. If you still want to answer that question, please go ahead. We are right now at 7 o'clock. Actually, I should pick our winner and let you all be gone for the evening. It has been great to be with you. And the winner is Sue Varner, who loves dark chocolate Easter bunnies. Congratulations, Sue. Sue, you are a Quilt Lab subscriber. I'm pretty sure in my head. So I'm going to send you a gift card, okay? I was going to send the new pattern out that's coming out later this week, but you'll already get it. So Sue, send me your email, and I will send you a gift card. Thank you all for playing. And we still have one more Wednesday before the Easter holiday. Now, I know next Wednesday is part of Holy Week. If you can't be here next week, I certainly understand that. All right. Don't feel like I will be upset or anything like that. If you have observances to do, please. Passover actually starts, I believe we start on Easter Sunday. So we've got a couple of things going on here, but I still do plan on having Wednesday workshop on Wednesday. Sue, you probably have this already in your head, but support at sewincommon.com, and I will send you your prize, dear. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, everybody. Our website is mybuildaquilt.com if you need to go over there and do a little shopping with that coupon code that I showed you earlier. It's also listed in the description below if you didn't catch what it was. It's spring sale 25, I think, but it's down in the description if you need to find it. But that's over at our website. If you're new and you enjoyed yourself tonight, we sure enjoyed having you. Please subscribe, like, and share our videos. We truly appreciate it. And until next time, everybody, you know what I'm going to say. Go quilt life beautiful. See you later, everybody.